everyone. Welcome to another brand new episode of Crosstalk with the MediaVantage. I'm really very excited today as we have one of the most influential content creators from India. He is an award-winning viral video marketer and also happens to be the VP of Content Marketing at Ixigo. He's released his very first book called The Fast, Cheap and Viral. Hello, Mr. Aashish. Thank you so much
Thank you for
being with us. So Aashish, to start with, if you can give us a brief understanding of your first book, Fast, Cheap and Viral.
Yes. Thank you for asking. And I'm really happy to be in Dubai in this office here because, the vibe here is amazing and you guys do some great work.
Thank you.
So about the book, 5 years back I made a video and that video went viral. I was very happy and really scared at the same time because if the second video was not a hit, then I would be back to the rat race and I did not have any degree to fall back on.
Right.
So I got obsessed about why that video worked, why the engagement happened on that video, because engagement has been the holy grail for me for the last 5 years. And the last 5 years since the first video have been about, figuring out the method to the madness behind videos which go viral. Because there's one thing, there's content marketing, and then there's viral content. Being attached to the word viral is very scary because viral is an outcome. We don't make a video out viral. Like I go to events and people come to me and say, sorry, video, we're going to make it viral. I'm like, here's a desperate. By morning you have a viral video. Because I'm obsessed about the method to the madness which, compels people to engage with the content.
Right.
And this book is a manual for me and for people who are figuring out content and how you can reach millions of people on shoestring budgets. So there are like 9 chapters, and every chapter is a fundamental I obsess about, like how to pick topics, how to focus on storytelling, not so much on production value. Like this show is being shot on mobile phones. I mean, that's the future which nobody thought like 5-10 years back. Right. And how conversation drives campaigns and how we can focus on personal branding. So the fundamentals are not just for B2C content, it's for B2B and personal branding, because the book is not about tips curated from the internet. The book is focused more on the user behavior, not so much the platforms. So the book is about the direction in which you fire your metaphorical artillery, because everybody has the skills, everybody has an HD camera in their pockets. But this book is about in which direction do you shoot, in which direction do you create that content, which compels people to engage with it, because views are easy, but getting the authentic comments, getting the authentic people tagging and engagement, that's the whole. Even if you spend money on every big chief marketing officer, CEOs I've met, deep down they can spend millions on any campaign, but deep down they want people to be talking about it organically. Right.
Yeah.
So even if you spend money or you don't spend money, that organic engagement is what everyone is after. And this book is a work of the last 3 years in documenting all those insights and validating that. Because to bullshit is easy, but to back it up with experiments which work, that's been my obsession. I really wanted everybody to just start creating that. Because if I can, through the book, if a lot of people can get empowered to start creating content, then that's the kind of success I'm looking for, because together we rise.
Great. So congratulations on that. Can you tell us what has Ixigo's strategy been in becoming a game changer in the content industry?
I joined Ixigo 5 years back, and one thing which I loved about Ixigo as a tech company was obsession about user experience. Right? If you see our flights app, our trains app, there's an obsession about providing the best user experience to the user, right? To the point that we have fights in the office because everybody's thinking in the interest of users. Now the same, values, we bring to content and content marketing and video, that every second a person is watching the video, he should get the value of every second they're watching. And the video should not start with powered by, presented by, right? So every second a person is watching is the currency that person is spending. Can we give them the value of that? So the same values which we had in creating awesome tech products, we brought in content marketing, is that obsessiveness about great user experience. So that I would say is the most important thing, and that's the DNA of Ixigo.
So can you summarize 3 golden rules one must keep in mind before creating content?
See, 3 golden rules. I would say first is the content we create is about the users, it's not about your brand. The content is about, like for example, any product, any service, right? They solve one pain point of a user. For example, Ixigo could solve one pain point of a user in how to get the cheapest flight or best experience in booking trains. But there are other pain points in the orbit which we don't solve, but we stand for that. We want to make the lives of travelers better, right? And that's where we get tons of ideas for content and content creation and content marketing. Right? So the first thing is, focusing on the user, because that's where the ideas are, not about the brand. right? Like a lot of people I see, they keep focusing on their brand. They see the world from the lens of the brand. I'm like, if you keep seeing your logo all the time, you'll not see the users. So brand is right behind you. That gives you the DNA,
Right.
but the focus is on the users to create a lot of ideas. Second thing is, if we focus on the users, we need to be very clear that the content which we create has to be effortless for them to engage with. Like it should be native to tiny mobile screens.
Right.
Like you can't just make a video for say a TV or a big screen and just put it on YouTube, put it on Facebook, and it'll work. It has to be
Right.
made for low attention span. It has to be made for where people are consuming content.
Right.
And the third most important thing I believe is that when a lot of people, there's a massive shift in the world where people are spending way more time on their phones than watching TV or reading newspapers, then the content which we create must start conversations. Because social media is built on conversations. Instagram, Facebook, like TikTok is built on conversations, right? So when the content starts conversations, then that's worthy of becoming a campaign. Because whatever money you put behind that campaign will give you the better ROI, you'll get that organic success because it starts meaningful conversation connected to your brand or the industry you're in.
Right.
So those three I would be, I would look at.
Okay, perfect. So I mean, this is a very interesting question. So when clients usually come back to you saying that, you know what, Aashish, I want to make a viral video, what is usually your reaction?
See, viral is a very abused word in the industry. It's
Yeah.
almost like a category of videos. People want 2 product videos, 3 education videos, and 3 viral videos, right? See, when people ask me about viral videos, I just, to me, the operating word for viral is share worthy.
Right.
So I stop, like, if somebody says, we have to make a viral video, my mind goes blank because viral is an outcome. What can I focus on? That the result is a video which goes viral. Like your laughter on my joke is an outcome. I can't say, I can't focus
I'll
on that
crack a
laughter.
joke and then you laugh on it.
Exactly. I need to focus on the structure of the joke.
Right.
And that's the method I'm obsessed about, that what kind of content we create, that people engage with it and they share it.
Right.
Because in content, the only thing which matters is shares. Because if a person shares your content, then you go in the zone of his friends and family. Also, when a person shares your content, you save a lot on distribution costs.
Right.
Because all these platforms, they cannot control the organic sharing of content.
Right.
And then you get the best bang for the buck in the ROI for what you're spending on that. So when somebody walks up to me and says, hey, viral content, my first question is, let's figure out what your audience would love to share. And those ideas are born out of the user's pain points. And not just some fancy, because idea and creativity to me needs a method, because there's this myth that only few people are born with that creative gene. I'm like, everybody is creative, just like everybody is intelligent. I need to work to sharpen that.
Yeah.
So if everybody can do that, and if, to me, if we follow the method which I obsess about, then it's not about me, it's about the process. Because results are never in our hands, but the process is in our hands.
Right. So what is that single biggest mistake brands do while creating content or while making a video?
See, one thing I've seen a lot, and a lot of brands do that, they masquerade ads as content, right? Because
Right.
there's to me, content marketing is the exact opposite of advertising. Content is in the interest of the users, and the brand is facilitating that, right? So that's the number one thing I've seen in all my experience is, understanding content. Content is not that you made an ad for TV and you can, post that on Facebook. Like I'm at this company, and I met their chief marketing officer, and I'm like, your video has 2 million views. He's like, congratulations. He's like, great. I'm like, the video has 2 shares. How many people work in your company? He's like, 200. I'm like, you didn't even get the loyalty of 198 people in your own company, right? So content and ads are very separate. And once we start thinking in the right direction, and the book is about thinking in the right direction for content which is worthy of sharing, right? And that's the learning we need as an industry, because I believe the power of content and power of videos, we can make a big impact in the world, and the brands can be part of that big change and make a dent in the universe, right? And that's one thing I see as a big challenge, that ads versus content.
Great. So can you give us a predictions on where the content marketing is getting to in the next 5 years, or where it would be?
It's really interesting how things are moving so fast. User behavior is changing so fast. The top 3 trends which I see, which I'm really excited about. First thing is video is becoming so big, right? For example, a couple of years back, everybody was talking about video as a trend. What should we do about it? Now they have to do, because everybody else is doing video. Like TikTok, for example, has made a content creator out of everybody, and everybody's creating so much video content.
Right.
So if you are still thinking about having video strategy or thinking of a video, there couldn't be a better time to get started, because the tide is raising all the boats.
Right.
This opportunity will never come again. phones are cheaper, data is cheap, everybody's consuming so much content, and the media landscape has been disrupted. So in the next 5 years, I think videos will explode even more in ways we don't even know yet, right? Second thing is there's a lot of rise of regional language content because if you see the story in India or globally, there's a lot of regional language videos which are coming up, and I won't be surprised if in the next 5 years English may not be the first language brands choose. So that is very interesting because regional language content is not about translating it from English to a different language. It's about understanding the context of the culture of that language, and that's global. So that's the biggest trend I'm excited about. And third is the integration of technology and AI with videos. Like right now we have that deep fake, and it's a very dangerous technology the way it's evolving. But in 5 years, I think it would mature into something which changes the game for video creation. Right. So like I'm excited about doing tons of experiments, figuring out what's that method, what's that best practice that we could scale up. So yeah, those three I'm really excited about.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Aashish. It was really a pleasure
Thank
to
you
have
for having
you.
me.
For any marketer who's struggling to create content, this is definitely the go-to book for you.
Thank you.
And stay tuned for more videos and content. Thank you so much.